are in the chapter 2. We are in the chapter 2, and there are 4 divisions in chapter 2. The first division is Arjuna accepting the Guru. And then the second division is I stands for identity. What is our real identity? Our real identity is we are not the body, we are the soul. And then the third division is T stands for 2 dharmas. So the first dharma is Swadharma. One of the dharma is Swadharma. We all have dharma according to our bodily position that we have got. Another is Parodharma, our constitutional position as an eternal servants of the Lord, Parodharma. And then the last division is the person, the symptom of the person who is Krishna conscious, who is a self-realized person. So if a person is self-realized, how does he talk? How does he walk? How does he behave? So all those characteristics will be discussed in the last division. So we saw in the beginning of the chapter, Sanjaya was telling Dhritarashtra that Arjuna was filled with tears. He was not able to fight. His eyes was filled with tears due to compassion. Arjuna was not able to fight because of compassion. And for the first time in the sloka 2, Bhagwan starts replying. Sri Krishna starts replying for the first time in Bhagavad Gita. And how did he reply?
He chastised him.
By chastising him, he immediately chastised him. Kutasva kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam. How come such kind of dirtiness has entered to you? This does not suit to a person who is an Arya. Arya means a person who knows the goal of the life, an Arya. This makes you look like an Anarya, a Swarga. A person, even if he loses his life in the battle, if it is a Dharma Yuddha, where does he go? He goes to Swarga. But will Arjuna will be able to get Swarga? No, it will be Aswarga. He will not be able to go to Swarga either. And Akirti, will he be famous? Can a person who is Darpo can be
No.
famous? No, he will not be famous. So these are the things that Krishna is telling Arjuna. And in the second sloka, he further says that you are acting as a person who is impotent. That is a big chastising word for a person like Arjuna, a Kshatriya being called as impotent. And also what is he saying? Parantapa. He is a person who cannot be defeated by anybody. So these are all the qualities of Arjuna. So he is also reminding him of his own position. At the same time, he is also chastising Arjuna. And then in the following verses, what did Arjuna say? Arjuna said that how come I can fight against my own guru and against my own grandfather? It's not possible. You're called as Madhusudana. You're not called as Ugrasena Sudana or Sandipane Sudana. And then in the following verse, he says that better I will go for begging rather than killing my own people. And then Arjuna reaches the peak of confusion. He became totally indecisive. In spite of the fact that Arjuna is skilled warrior, he has even defeated Indra and Shiva. In spite of that, Arjuna became totally indecisive. He became completely blank. He did not know what to do, to conquer or to be conquered, because both the thing doesn't look good for Arjuna. He doesn't know what is good for him. So immediately, what did Arjuna do? In such a state of indecisiveness, what did Arjuna do? In the next sloka, which is also that's the turning point of Bhagavad Gita. The sloka number 7, what did Arjuna do? Arjuna surrendered himself to Krishna. He accepted him as a disciple and Krishna became the guru. Because generally the conversation among the friends are considered to be not so serious. However, the conversation between a guru and a disciple, there is a gravity. Therefore, Arjuna accepted him as a guru. Shishyaste aham shadi mam tvam prapannam. Now I have accepted you as a surrendered disciple. Even how should be the quality of a disciple? When you are accepting a guru, how should be the quality of a disciple? Even a disciple is allowed to ask questions to the Guru. But how should he ask? Out of arrogance, with humility. Yeah, with humility. Even yesterday, I was reading the book Second Chance. In that, the Yamatudas, they are going to Yamaraj because they were completely baffled. How come a person like Ajamila, who is very sinful person, could not be brought to Yamaloka and he has been transferred to Vishnululoka? They were not understanding that at all because for the first time in their life, they are seeing Vishnutudas and they thought that Yamaraj, he is the supreme controller of the death. So then the way they asked is, if you think we are capable of understanding how they went to Vishnu Loka, please enlighten us. See the way in which they are asking the question. Yes, you can ask questions to the Guru, but in what way you ask? You ask with humility and with attitude of service. Yes, Shreyasya Nichitam Bruki Tanme. He's telling that, yes, Shreya, what is good for me in the long term? Shreyas means the one that is good for long term. Prayas means the one that is for instantly. What is good for me now? If I'm now getting probably a hot plate of vada, I'm happy. So that is prayers. Shreyas means you're thinking, okay, I'm going to eat the vada. Is it offered? The one that I'm eating, is it a prasadam? Then it becomes Shreyas, thinking what is good for you in the long term. So this is what Arjuna is asking. Although he knows that at the current moment, he is not able to decide what is good for him, but he knows that in the future, there is something that is good for him and for in the long term, and he is requesting Krishna to enlighten him. And again, he is saying that, I'm not able to, even if I get all the three worlds, I'm not going to enjoy that, because what is the use of having everything without having your own relatives and your own friends? And then Sanjaya, he is saying all these things to whom? To whom is the Sanjaya is narrating all these incidents? He's narrating to Dhritarashtra. Now, what will Dhritarashtra think? Dhritarashtra will be very happy. He will be happy thinking that Arjuna is now not going to fight. But in reply to that, what did Sanjaya said? Sanjaya is a faithful servant. So he wants to give the reality to Dhritarashtra. He didn't want to make him understand, okay, make him feel that, everything is now sorted out and the kingdom will go to Duryodhana because Arjuna decided not to fight. So here he is glorifying Arjuna as Gudakesha. Gudakesha means a person who has conquered the ignorance. Arjuna is not ready to fight out of what? Out of ignorance currently. But actual quality of Arjuna is Gudakesha. And with Gudakesha, who is there? Rishikesha. Rishikesha. Krishna, who is the Rishikesha, the master of senses. So when there is Gudakesha and when there is Rishikesha, what will the Rishikesha will do to Gudakesha? He will enlighten him eventually. Yeah. So he is telling you, because don't forget who is there with Arjuna. It's Krishna there. And also he is describing Arjuna here once again as Parantapa. Here Sanjaya is telling Arjuna as Parantapa. Earlier Krishna was telling Arjuna as Parantapa. Here Sanjaya is telling Arjuna as Parantapa. So don't be very positive, thinking that Arjuna is not going to fight. So, and then next verse we thought that Krishna is smiling. Why did Krishna smile? He is smiling thinking that his friend has become his disciple, thinking that Krishna is smiling. Yeah, he is giving a smile. How come my own friend has become my disciple? So now for the first time, Krishna will speak in the role of a guru. Guru. So far, how was Krishna speaking was in terms of a friendship. He was hearing and everything. So now we will see that Krishna taking the role of a guru and he will speak with a lot more gravity. The gravity is going to be very high from now onwards because Krishna is talking as a guru. Okay, I'll just share a PowerPoint. Is it the screen share is happening?
Ji Mataji.
Okay, we will recite the sloka first. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Ashoshan Anvasocastvam
Ashoschan Anvasochaschan
Prajnabadham Shabhashyase
Prajnavadamascha Mahashe
Gata Suna Gata Sumsha
Gatashun
Nanu
Gatatastuscha
Sochanti Pandita
Nano Sochanti Pandita
Ashoshan Anvasocastvam
Ashoschan Anvasochastvam
Prajnabadham Shabhashyase
Prajnavadamscha Bhashvashase
Gata Suna Gata Sumsha
Gatasuna Gatasumsha
Nanu Sochanti Pandita.
Nanusochanti Pandita.
Wants to do this sloka?
I'll do it.
Oh, please.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Shri
Shri Bhagavan
Asochanan
Vacha
Ashochasvam
Ashot
Asochanan Asochashvam
Ashoshan Anvasocastvam
Chanastustasvam
Pragyapadam Shabhashase
Prajnavadam
Prajnavasham cha
Shabhashyase
Bhashase Gadha
Gatasuna Gatastumscha
Gata Suna
Gadasuna
Gata
Gadam
Sumsha
Sumsha
Nanusuchanti Panditaha
Nanu Sochanti
Nanusochanti
Pandita.
Panditaha
Word to word meaning.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Asochanan, that which is not worthy of lamentation, Anvasochan, who are lamenting, Tvam, you, Pragyavadah, learned talks, Cha, also, Bhashase, speaking, Gata, lost, Asun, life, Agata, not past, Asun, life, Cha, also, Na, never, Anusuchanti, lament, Panditah, the learned. Translation. The Blessed Lord said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead.
Yeah.
Purport.
So,
The
we will
Lord
do
at
the
one.
purport slowly, Mataji. We'll do the purport slowly. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swamiti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So again, here, what is Krishna is chastising Arjuna. What is he saying? You appear like a learned person, but actually speaking, you are not. Nanu Sochanti Pandita. Means sometimes you see that certain people, they appear to be very learned, they appear to be good, but actually they won't be there. So he is giving a thing, although you're speaking like a learned person. Why Arjuna looked like he's speaking like a learned person? Previously, we saw Arjuna put in 4 arguments. What are the 4 arguments Arjuna put? Arjuna argued in terms of compassion. Then he argued in terms of enjoyment. Then in terms of sinful activity. Then in terms of laws of family destruction. Kulakshaya Kuladosham. He said that. And Varna Shankara, the unwanted population will will be there in the society. There will be a lot of unwanted population. So all these things, whatever Arjuna speaks, how does it look like? It looked like a person who is talking with a lot of sensitivity, who is sensible about himself and about the world around him. In terms of morality, Dharma Shastra, it looks everything is fine with Arjuna, right? Do we think any argument which Arjuna put is, does his argument look anywhere foolish?
No.
Arjuna's argument looks very much in line in terms of morality and like a learned person. But here, what did Krishna say? You're acting like a pandita, like a learned person, but actually you're not. So Krishna chastises Arjuna. The truly wise do not mistake. The truly wise, that means he appears like wise. He is not truly wise. Do not mistake the body to be self and lament neither for living nor for the dead. So why is Krishna saying that we should not lament for living and dead? Gatasuna, agatasun. Gatasun means living, agatasun means non-living. How come Krishna is saying everything to be the same here? Under what platform a living and a dead can be the same? Under what platform is Krishna going to talk now? When you say a person is living or non-living, it doesn't matter. That means there is something beyond the life and the death. What is that?
Soul.
The soul. Because Arjuna is
Atma.
not thinking in terms of a soul. He is only thinking in the bodily concept.
Body.
Dehatma buddhi. So the soul can never be destroyed. It is only the body that is going to be destroyed. Even if Bhishma Pita, if he loses his life in the battle, where will he go? He will go to Swargaloka.
Yeah.
Or even if he takes birth, he will have a regimen body. So he should not lament for that which is not worth for. For example, if we are going in a car, in a highway, and let's say that we are driving a very expensive car, maybe we are going in an Audi, and it so happened that your car insurance also just got expired and you did not renew. And then you met with an accident by which your car is totally damaged, but you are saved. So in that situation, will you worry for the car that is being damaged, or will you be happy that your life is saved? It was a really
At that
bad
moment, yeah.
accident,
Happy.
but you are
Right.
safe.
We'll
You
be
will
happy
not get
that we are
even a
safe.
single rupee as a claim. So will you ever think that, okay, I worked for 5 years to buy this car. It was my dream car. And will you go home and will you cry, okay, I lost my car, I lost my car. Will you mourn for that?
A conscious person may not,
Pardon?
but a conscious person, may not,
Yeah.
because that person will be happy that his life is saved.
Yeah, most of us know, Mataji, everybody is very dear to the life is very dear for all the
Yes.
people, whether
But there
you're,
are people,
Yeah.
people who are materially
Yeah.
connected, and
yeah,
they would also,
they may feel for
be
it,
sad
but
about it.
generally speaking, at least you're happy. Let's assume that it was a really, really a bad accident. You just survived. There is no chance of you to survive when the car is totally damaged. And just the
In that
airbags in the
case,
car
yes,
has protected you, you will be totally grateful because
correct.
you will live for a few more years and you can buy one more Audi. But if you're dead, you cannot buy that either, right? You have got another chance to earn and to buy. So what I'm saying is you will be, the person will be only worried about the living force, not about the thing that is not worth of lamenting. So that is what Krishna is telling Arjuna. So a person, learned person, will not be sad for the things that are not worthy to be lamenting. Even if you want to lament, lament for the things that are worth. Don't lament for things that are not worthy. So that's what he is telling. So now we will understand how the soul and the body functions. Okay. So we are seeing that first there's soul, that is our real identity. So the soul is covered by the subtle body. Our subtle body is made up of intelligence, mind, and false ego. And then this subtle body is covered by the life air, prana. Because it's the life air that is moving, no, the breathing which keeps us alive mechanically. If somebody passes away, what do we say? Unka pran chala gaya. Pran nikal gaya. You say, na, his breathing has stopped. And then we have the gross body that we are seeing ourselves. So beneath the gross body, we have prana. Beneath that, we have a subtle body. And beneath that, we have the soul, which is our real identity. So the connection between the soul and the gross body is the subtle body. As long as we are carrying the subtle body, subtle means what? That which we cannot see. Can we see the mind? Can we see the intelligence? Can we see the false ego?
No.
But they are felt. So as long as we are carrying the subtle body, in the sense, what is mean by the false ego means? What is a real ego?
I, my, me.
Real ego is we are all the servants of the God, Krishna.
Okay.
Jivera Swarupa hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are all part and parcel of Krishna and we are all his eternal servant. That is our real ego. What is the false ego is? Thinking that me, my, and mine.
That I am the
Yeah, me, my family, my society, my nation, my thing. So these are all the false ego.
False ego.
Okay, so as long as we carry the false ego, we have a subtle body, which will take us to another body. And intelligence. What is the real intelligence is? The real, here itself, Krishna
Here,
is saying,
spirit soul.
Arjuna, Nanu Sochanti Pandita, you appear intelligent, but you are not. So that means the real intelligence is we are the spirit soul. We are not the
Spirit
body.
soul.
We are not the body. Considering that as a real intelligence. Understanding the goal of life. The life is not meant for sense gratification, but the life is meant for the service of the Lord so that we can come out of the cycle of repeated birth and
Birth and
death.
death.
The
Birth and
four
death.
common problems for all of us: birth, death, old age, and disease.
This
You
is-
say yourself intelligent, but you don't have any plans or you're not striving anything to solve the four problems, major problems, then how can you say you're intelligent? Even in a materially, if somebody is in a very good position or in a bad position, what does it matter? Anyway, both are temporary. Even if somebody is a president of India and if he passes, what does it matter? Is he going to be born as a president in the next life? Not necessarily. A prime minister in this life can be even born as a dog in the next life. If his consciousness is like that of a dog. Correct? Like we
Yes.
say that, you know, what does a dog do? If a dog sees another stray dog or some other dog entering the territory, what does the dog do?
They shoo
The
away, they
dog
bark.
bark. They say that it is my territory, you don't enter. Correct.
Correct.
So similarly, today we also see the countries, they have immigration policy. It is my country, you don't better enter. So what kind of consciousness is that? It's a doggish consciousness saying that it is my place, you are outsider, it is our country, so you cannot migrate, so better go away. Now we see the US policy, so many visa policies are changing. Many people all over the world, they are sent out of their country where they have been living, where they have been contributing something or the other. Correct? But they are all asked to live. Correct? So this is a doggish thing. And then we have mind. What is our mind? Mind can be our friend as well as the enemy. So man mana bhava mat bhakto. Man mana bhava mat bhakto. How should our mind should be always? Always think about Krishna. Madhyajimam namaskuru. And offer your obeisances to me. Become my devotee.
Always pray to
So, and worship me. So this is a way in which we can obtain Krishna. So our mind. So as long as our mind, intelligence, and false ego are not purified, then we carry the subtle body with us. And this subtle body will take us to another body. Then we have the life air. And subtle body, is it spiritual or material? Subtle body is also material. Although we cannot see, gross body is very much seen. Subtle body cannot be seen. And even more subtlest is the soul. Soul is unseen. Why the soul is unseen? What is the size of the soul? We will see that later. The size of the soul is 1/10,000th time of the tip of the hair. So now no microscope and nothing can see the soul. And then it is also the subtle body is material, and then we have the life air, prana, apana, samana, vayana, and udhana. So these are the network of the air that goes around to maintain the breathing of the body, to maintain the bodily functions. And then, so this life air is the one which is a connection between the subtle body and the gross body.
Gross body.
And gross body is made up of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Bhumi, Rapo, Analo, Vayu. Krishna speaks in depth about all these things in the 7th chapter, about the
Mataji,
gross body and the subtle body. Yes.
Mataji, could you just say the English meanings of this thing, prana, apana, samana, vyana, and udana?
Yeah.
Do we have
Actually,
any English words?
yeah. Prana, I have to let you know little more. Samana
Okay.
is the one that balance. Apana, I think it udhana goes up. So some air goes up, some air goes down, some air is in the balance. So I will have to get back to you on
Okay, sure,
the
Mataji.
exact.
No
But
problem.
overall, these are the air. Some goes upward, downwards, and balance, and they are maintaining the equilibrium of the bodily functions. These are the network of air. Sometimes, even they say that by maintaining the proper air, you can maintain a good health. If your air circulation is good,
Yeah,
what do
those
you do
are
in the
those breathing exercises and
yeah,
all that.
breathing, pranayama, why do you
Pranayama,
do? To
yes.
maintain your bodily. So that helps you to have a good health. Because mechanically, that helps us to circulate the air in such a way so that we can have a good health. And then our gross body is made up of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And we, being the living entities in the earth, our body is earthly body. It is maximum made up of earth and water. So if there is a living entity in the sun, then how will be their body? Will be fiery body. Like how our body is majorly composed of earth, we also have fire. Without fire, can we digest the food?
No.
So fire is there in us, but to a very minute quantity that helps us for digestion. But in the planets like sun, the body will be the fiery body. And it will be more subtle body. So even though you go to moon or you go to sun planet, the more you go to heavenly planets, the body is more subtle. You won't be able to see at all. So even if the scientists are going and saying that there is no living entity, then that's not true because they may not be able to see that.
See, correct.
Seeing is believing is not the right thing. Many things we cannot see. Then we have to believe, right? That is what the science says, no? But their own science, they came with a theory called Big Bang. One big chunk, it got exploded with zero volume and everything. And did anybody see the chunk exploding?
No.
So science says lot of things like maybe, perhaps, and everything. But have you ever seen Krishna saying that maybe you're not the body, maybe you're the soul? Perhaps it would have been like that. Have you ever heard these words, maybe, perhaps, in the Shastras? No. Shastras are to the point, but science has many maybe, perhaps. It could have been like that. It could have been like that. Lot of things, lot of inability in the science, but people still, in the name of the science, we believe that. Like some of the scientists, they have said that by 2050, if you manage to live by 2050, you will become immortal. So if you want to pay your electricity bill, can you pay a post-dated check to the MSEB, will the MSEB accept that? You want to pay
No.
for this month and you're giving the check for 2030. Will it be accepted? It
No.
won't be accepted. So scientists, they always say that, you know, just wait for some time, you will become immortal. Just wait for something, you become immortal. And those people who are in that research, they themselves die in the due course of time. I have seen in our society, one of the person, while we were trying to preach to that person to distribute the book, he was very sure that in another 50 years, then everybody will become immortal. He was saying for sure.
Ignorance.
Yeah, and he was 100% sure that it is going to happen. Science is going to take care of everything. And there is no doubt in it. He believes in the science and eventually everybody will become immortal. He was very confident about what he said. So that is how it is. We are in the ignorance. Okay, so this is our subtle body and our physical body with the senses. And we have Jnanendriya and Karmendriya. Jnanendriya means knowledge acquiring senses. Like how do you acquire knowledge? By using your ears, your hearing, ears, eyes,
Five senses.
nose,
Yeah.
senses. These are knowledge acquiring senses called as Jnanendriya. And Karmendriya or the working senses. Like with the eyes, you see. Ears, you hear. With the hands, you work. And genitals and anus, these are all the Karmendriya senses, the
Karmendriya.
working senses. So we have Jnanendriya and we have Karmendriya senses. So analytically, if you go to Sankhya philosophy, which we will go, there are 24 elements. So now we are just, in this particular sloka, we are doing only 15 elements. We see 5 and this one. And we will see the more thing in the later, because in those slokas, those will be the prime points for us to discuss. Now we have something more to discuss here. So I'm not going very elaborate in this, just to understand what is gross body, what is subtle body, and what is the soul. So are you all clear how the soul and the body functions? And what is the quality of the soul? Soul is Satchit Ananda. Sat means eternity. So why we feel that we will never die? When Yudhishthir was asked the question by Yaksha, what is the most amazing thing in the world? What did Yudhishthir say? Every day a person is seeing somebody dying. He's seeing his family member dying, or he sees his neighbor dying, or somebody dying. But what does he think about himself? That he will never die. So that is the most astonishing thing. Why we have that propensity thinking that we are not going to die? Because it is the characteristic of the soul. Sat is eternity. Chit. Chit means knowledge. Even in the material world, most of the population, we are all there to acquire some knowledge. There is some quest for doing. Some people like to read news. Some people like to know something about science, something about the thing. And very few people are interested to know the real knowledge. But there is some attempt for the knowledge. Even we see the government is also making compulsory schooling for all class of people, at least till 10th grade, like that. So is knowledge is something which has been very much very much there in the life. And then we have Ananda, bliss. Everybody is in search of happiness. Why do we work? Why do we do things? There is always the search for happiness. So because these are all the very qualities of the soul, Satchit Ananda. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Brahmaji, when he sees Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan, he is describing Krishna as Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. He is the Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda. He is Anadir. He has been there for even before everything created. Sarva Karana Karanam. And he is the cause of all the causes. Okay, so this quality of Satchit Ananda is there in Krishna. We being the part and parcel of Krishna, we also have that. But in what quantity? In minute quantity. Even though if it is minute quantity, why we are not able to realize that? Because there are so many coverings. Can you see that? Soul is covered by subtle body, prana, life air, and gross body. So with so many covering, how can we experience the bliss of the soul? That is why when we chant and when we do, there are some layers which also we will see in other classes. There are koshas, there are layers. So we have to penetrate through the layers to understand the bliss of the soul, Ananda Mayobhyasa. Okay, so for now, is it clear how the soul and the body functions? Any questions here? Can I move to the next slide?
Ji Mataji.
Okay. So now here, Lord Krishna chastises Arjuna, taking the role of a spiritual master. So here we can see the chastisement is very strong because he is acting as a spiritual master. So who is a learned man? Here, why is Krishna chastising Arjuna? Because he's talking like a learned man. Otherwise, why will he chastise? But actually, how is Arjuna? Spiritually, how is he? He is acting as a fool. So even we are all born fools. Without education, we are all born fools. Even we have also been in all animalistic species. There are 84 lakh species of life, and we have been in all animalistic species. So even we have evolved from animals. Even we don't have any great knowledge by birth. Only by education we get the knowledge. Otherwise, each and every one of us are born fools. Who enlighten us? It's only the spiritual master who enlighten us. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that my spiritual master saw me as the greatest fool. Even though Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, how does he pose himself to be? A fool. A disciple poses himself to be a fool in front of the spiritual master. Fool means not exactly foolish, but knowing that I don't have any knowledge, you please enlighten me. Not necessarily you should act foolish. Is it clear? So who is the learned man? A learned man is the one who knows the difference between the body and the soul. Body is temporary, whereas the soul is eternal. And the learned man do not lament for body, whether it is dead or alive. Because he knows that our real identity is we are the soul. Body is born and destined to vanquish. Therefore, the body is not as important as soul. When anybody is born, even the child is 1 day. What do we say the child as? 1 day?
Old, 1 day old.
Old. If a child is 1 year, what do we say? 1 year old. If a person is 40 years, what do we say? 40 years old. So why do we use the word old? Because this body is going
towards death.
Going towards the death. Because if a person is destined to live for, let's say, for 90 years, that means 1 year is already gone. If you're 40 years old, that means 40 years is already gone out of 90 years that you're destined to live. So the body is born, it is destined to vanquish. Therefore, the body is not as important as the soul. We know that this body is, we have to just use it as a vehicle. For example, the car cannot go on its own. The car needs a driver. At the same time, it is important to maintain the car. Without maintaining the car will not go properly. So body is important. It's important to maintain our body, but for what purpose? Just to keep our body and soul together and to go back home, back to Godhead. We have to use our body for in the service of Krishna. So therefore, we have to take care, but not for polishing our body, not becoming 60 years, 70 years and going for hair botox and face botox and this botox and facelift surgery, this surgery and that surgery. Is that what we are destined for? Even that body is going to die. Correct? So, and a learned person can differentiate between the matter and the spirit. He knows what is the matter and what is the spirit. So, Krishna here, Krishna controls both the matter as well as the spirit. Everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna says that the matter is a separated energy. Everything is his energy. Even in the 7th chapter, Krishna says, Devi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Durateya. It is very difficult to overcome Maya because she is my energy. So everything, controller of both matter and spirit, is also the Krishna. So, and he is able to differentiate between the soul and the body. Soul is eternal and the body is temporary. So if somebody says that he is a learned person, will you say a person is learned person if he does not understand that he is the soul and not the body? Or at least he should know that the soul is eternal and body is temporary. At least he should be able to differentiate between the body and the soul. If he is not able to do that, will you say that person is learned?
No.
So what is the first teaching of Bhagavad Gita? The very first teaching of Bhagavad Gita is we are not the
This
body. We
body, we
are
are the soul.
That is the very first teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Even the smallest teaching, the most basic teaching, it is so shameful on us that we are not able to reach out to the students who are studying for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 20 years in the college and the schools. One sloka of Bhagavad Gita telling that you are not the body, you are the soul, we are not able to do, because of which what are we seeing? Many suicides. If a person knows that he is not the body, he is the soul, will he commit suicide? Will he? He knows that if he commits suicide, his life is going to be much more miserable than living. Because while living, something may be a failure today, but tomorrow things can change. Because this too will pass. Everything will pass. Once there was a king, and he made an announcement that to all the citizens that every citizen should give him some gift, and whomsoever is giving the best gift to him, the gift is not based on the cost. The gift is based on the value that the person will add to the gift. The most valuable gift will be gifted with $5 million. So that is what the king has made the announcement. So there was one person who gave the king just one small ring, which hardly costed some $10, $15. And then the king gave $5 million to this particular person. What was written in that ring? This too will pass. Because even if he is proud that I am the king, is he going to be the king for a long time?
Yeah. It's not
Even
permanent.
if the king is undergoing some bad things, somebody is going to capture, is he going to be captured forever? No. So that lesson, the king felt very valuable. This will help him not to be proud or not to be morose for anything, because everything in this world is temporary. So one should not be very elated when he gets something great, or one should not be very sad when something happens against our wish or against our choice. Okay, so that's what a learned man think. So Lord Krishna here chastises Arjuna. The Lord at once took the position of the teacher and chastised the student, calling him indirectly a fool. The Lord said, you are talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned, one who knows what is body and what is soul, does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in the living nor in the dead condition. So this is the qualification of a learned person given by Krishna. He does not lament for the living or for the dead, because he knows that every living entity is the spirit, soul. Okay. So a guru can chastise the student. A student should not feel bad if he is getting chastised by guru. Once it so happened that Advaita Acharya, the Panchatattva, we know, right? Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Advaita Acharya, he is very elderly. In fact, he did the Tulsi Shaligram Puja with Ganga water for 50 years, and upon his request only Mahaprabhu came. But he is knowing that Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. He wanted himself to be chastised. A disciple is happy when the guru is chastised. When the guru chastises the disciple, what does that mean? That means the guru is caring for you. Therefore, the chastisement comes. So that's why a chastisement from the guru should also be taken in a right way by the student. A student should not think that today what does the children do in the school? If the teacher is scolding the students, what does the students do?
They get upset.
And they go and report to the coordinator. And even if it doesn't get solved, where do they go? They go to the principal. And even if it is not solved at that thing, they go to the management. So is it a right approach? If a teacher is scolding the student, chastising a student for some purpose, then the student should take it, because that is for the benefit of the student.
Child.
But these things are not being taught today. Today, in terms of the ladders, did we have all those coordinate? I don't know. The school where I studied, I didn't have anybody like coordinator or anything. There was only principal, there was vice principal, and there was class teacher. That's it. Today, we have psychological counselors. We have this coordinators, subject coordinators, grade coordinators, and everything. And what has it? Did it cause anything good for the student, or it just increased the complexity?
Increases more problems actually.
More problem.
For the child.
That means whatever the child has all the rights to prove himself to be right. If one person says I am wrong, you go to another person and try to justify yourself. So here the teacher is being questioned. Why did you scold the student? Then how can the teacher discipline the child? How can the teacher bring the good thing in the child? Even in a material thing, I'm just telling a teacher and a student. So spiritually also, if sometimes, if you're getting a chastisement from the guru, you're not doing your service properly, or you're getting deviated or distracted, a guru has all the rights to chastise the disciple. Okay? So what is the knowledge? As explained in the later chapters, it will be clear that knowledge means to know matter and spirit, and controller of both. What is the matter and what is the spirit? Matter is made up of 5 elements. What are the 5 elements? All those 24 elements we will see. All the karmendriya, jnanendriya, all these things belongs to the matter and spirit. And who is the controller of both? Who controls both the matter and the spirit? Krishna.
Bhagwan himself.
Bhagavan himself. Arjuna argued that religious principles should be given more importance than politics or sociology, but he did not know that the knowledge of matter, soul, and the supreme is even more important than religious formularies. Right? He thought that what is more important? On Dharma Shastra, he says, no, I will be doing sinful activities. Kulakshaya, Kuladosham, these are all based on what principle Arjuna spoke? Religious principle. If he is following the importance of politics, then he should have fought. Because the duty of Kshatriya is to establish Dharma. In spite of having the duty of establishing the Dharma, what did Arjuna speak on? He spoke on the Dharma Shastra, about sinful activities, about all the things. But what is Krishna saying? What is even more important than the religious formularies?
The soul. The soul is even more important.
The soul is even more important than the having the knowledge of matter, soul, and who is the controller of both. It's all important to understand who controls the both also. See, somebody might try very hard to get something. Unless the Supreme Lord sanctions, it's not going to happen. So we should know that even though we try very hard, we work very hard. Like so many people in this world are working as hard as Ambani, or even working harder than him, working day and night. Is everybody able to become Ambani?
No.
Is everybody able to become Elon Musk? Okay, they may say the story of Elon Musk. He has been in a very, very, in the childhood, he had been in 14 schools. He has been abused. He has been bullied. So many such stories are there. And because of all those things, he got and he became. But so many children are abused. So many children are bullied. So many children are not having proper education. Did all the children, did it become impetus for all those children who have done like this to become Elon Musk? No. So this is just a material thing, saying that, something becomes impetus. No, as long as your karma credit is not there, you will not get whatever you want. Therefore, one should learn to accept whatever is being given to us as a mercy of the Lord. Whether it is good or bad, it is also the mercy of Krishna. Like once, it so happened that, one of the family man, he got one horse. And that horse was looking so beautiful that everybody praised him. Where did you get this horse? He said, I got in the market. And that horse, it went out and it brought another horse. So male horse and female horse. And they were praising him. Oh, how good you got the horse and your horse got another horse. So they were praising that person. And then it so happened that the man's son, while he was going on horse riding, he got tripped and he broke his legs. And then all the people whomsoever were appreciating him for the horse that he got, which was looking very beautiful and which was capable of getting another horse, they all chastised this person. Why did you get the horse? You see what the horse has done to your son. Now your son lost his legs. And then it so happened in the country that there was a war and all the young men in the country were supposed to join the army, in the military. Sometimes it happens, no, when the military force is not good enough, then every young man in the country was supposed to be in the military. And this particular boy, because his legs was broken, what happened to him? Was he chosen?
No.
He was not chosen. So did the horse do good thing to him or bad thing?
Good thing, no?
But what did it appear?
Yeah.
It appeared that the horse was not such a good
Bad
thing,
luck.
that the bad luck, that it put the son down and he broke his legs. So somebody says, my son broke the leg, and you say it is good thing that happened. No, we always say that, oh, he shouldn't have gone. Maybe he should have been careful. We make so many analysis how we could have prevented. But what was good for this boy? His life was saved. Once he's in the military, he's not even a trained person. He's supposed to do. He might have died also. Now he has his son alive with him. Yes, the legs got broken. Maybe it will take few months to get fixed. But eventually the son is with him, right? So that is what we should know. We should know that the God is the controller of everything, and whatever he sanctions, that will happen. Okay. And what was the result? Arjuna was lacking in that knowledge. He shouldn't have posed himself as a very learned man. As he did not happen to be a very learned man, he was consequently lamenting for something which was unworthy for lamentation. So Arjuna lamented for something that was not worth for. For example, if somebody is lamenting for the Audi car that has been damaged in the highway, in the road accident, in spite of the fact that his life got saved, is it worthy of lamentation? It is not worthy. So sometimes we are lamenting for something that is not worthy for. Is that good? Lament for something worth. Maybe we lament, okay, I have been living so many years. I wasted 40 years of my life or 50 years of my life. And just now I got the opportunity to do devotion. Maybe we can lament for that.
Yeah.
That we wasted our life. Had we known Krishna conscious before, we would have used our time in bhakti rather than wasting the time. You lament for things that are worth. Don't lament for things that are not worthy for. For example, you're already living a very good society. Maybe there was an opportunity for you to buy another let's say another apartment, another house at a little lower cost, and you miss that opportunity. And later on in 3 years or 5 years, you found that the property price has become doubled or tripled. And if you're lamenting for that, had I invested this money 5 years ago, my friend told, I was about to invest, but something so happened that I did not go for it. I was skeptical and I left it. Had I invested now, I will have 3 times the money. If he's thinking that and lamenting that, is it the right way to lament?
Useless. And plus
It is
you
useless
waste your
because
present
whatever,
peacefulness
yeah.
also.
And it is not that you are homeless.
Yeah.
You're already having a home to live and it is comfortable also. It is just the greediness. Now you wanted something more. And if you're lamenting for such thing, then it is not worth. So here Arjuna is lamenting for what? The body. Dehata buddhi. Compassion came out of body. Even in the first sloka, we saw that. If a person is drowning, out of compassion, will you save the person or the dress of the person?
The person himself.
The person. You are saying you're compassionate. The person is wearing an expensive shirt. A Gucci shirt he is wearing, 3,000 rupees worth. And you say, I'm very compassionate. And will you go and remove the shirt and leave the person? So
No.
that is what we are doing. Today, our compassion is for what? Towards the body. We are feeding the poor. It is out of compassion. Yes, today you are able to feed for one day. Who will feed tomorrow? Okay, even if you want to feed the poor, feed prashadam. That will act on the soul. Correct? You want to educate the children. Yes, these children will educate, they will do the law, but along with that education, give them Bhagavad-gita also. Make them understand that you're not the body, you're the soul. At least you're taking a responsibility of educating a child. Don't just educate on a bodily concept. Take some efforts to educate on his other things also, to make him understand that he is not the body, he is the soul. Okay, these are the things that we can do, not just protecting the body, but acting at the soul level. Okay. So who is actually learned? The body is born and it is destined to vanish today or tomorrow. Therefore, the body is not as important as the soul. One who knows this is actually learned. And for him, there is no cause of lamentation, regardless of the condition of the material body.
But
okay, he has to act in the level of the soul. Okay, so that is very important to understand. So we will conclude this verse. So we know that Krishna is chastising Arjuna. The truly wise do not mistake the body to be the self and lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So wise person, what does a wise person do?
wise person
He will not
understands that
identify himself with the
self as a
body.
body.
And lament for living or dead because he is seeing in the level of a soul.
So
Like even in the 18th sloka of the 5th chapter, there is a sloka which says that Sunichena swapakecha vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini Sunichena swapakecha pandita samadarshita. A pandita, a learned man, he does not differentiate a pandita. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini. He does not differentiate between brahmana, a cow, or a dog, anything. Why he is not able to differentiate between the brahmana, cow, or a dog? Because he is seeing that person in what level? In the level of a soul. That is a pandita. Pandita samadarshina. A pandita sees everybody in the equal vision. What is the equal vision is? We are all the part and parcel of Krishna. Everybody is the soul. So what is learned? The Supreme Personality of Godhead chastises Arjuna for posing as a learned man. All his arguments look that he is a very learned man, but what does Krishna says that you're pretending yourself to be a learned man, but actually you're not. So now today's society, if we consider, how many percentage of the people will you actually say a learned person as per what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita?
very few.
Very few. Maybe 1% of the population is only the real learned person. Correct? He may be a PhD, he may be a doctor, he may be a lawyer, he may be in a very big position. But if he does not, if he identifies himself with the body, then he is considered to be the thing. And what is the definition of the learned man? We saw. What is definition of knowledge? To know what is matter, what is soul, and who is the controller of both. That is also needed, because we should not think that, we are just the, as long as we are in the matter, we are trapped, and we should not think that once we come out of this body, we will become God. No, God is different and we are different. We are all the servants of the God. Mayavad, they think that we also can become God, which we will see in the next sloka. Different levels of Shastras. So we will see in the sloka from 11 to 30, establish the Jnana Shastra, knowledge of the body and the soul. So as I said, this particular division, sloka number 11 to 30, particularly talks about the knowledge of the soul to be higher than the Dharma Shastra, because Arjuna is talking in terms of religious principle, or higher than the Artha Shastra, like politics and sociology. So the most important thing is the knowledge of the soul, not the knowledge of the other things like Dharma Shastra and Artha Shastra. Okay, this is more important. And I just have one more sloka, which from Srimad Bhagavatam, which Krishna is talking about what is the... One second, I'll just share that screen. Okay. Yasyasma bhuktir kunape tridaduke swadi kalatradishu bhauma ityaji yatirtha buddhi salile na karjitit Nyaya abhichet sa eva gokara. He says one who identifies his self as the inner body. And what is our body composed of? Mucus, bile and air. This is what our gross body is composed of. Yes, earth, water, fire, or the components. But in the general term, when you say it is made up of mucus, bile and air, who assumes his wife and family or permanently his own, who thinks an earthen image or the land of his birth is worshipable, or who sees the place of pilgrimage as merely the water there, but who never identifies himself with, feels kingship with, worships, or even visits those who are wise in the spiritual truth, such a person is no better than a cow or an ass. So this sloka clearly says that we should not identify ourselves with the body. People go on pilgrimage just to get a dip on the holy water. But going to the pilgrimage, what does the person do? He has to meet the wise person from there and hear the katha from there. Why do we go on yatras than going on our own? When we go on yatras, what happens? We are hearing the sthala katha from the people there. And we are sthala katha from the leader who is taking us there. So that is why just somebody is going to the pilgrimage, just if the thing of getting purified and taking a holy dip and not having any this thing to inquire the spiritual truth, how does the person is considered himself as? A cow or an ass, not less than an animal. So a men who do not know the principle of devotional service to the Supreme Lord should be known as cows or asses, even if they are expert in technically analyzing the Vedic mantras and are adorned by world leaders. So just knowing the Vedic mantras is not important. Most important thing is rendering devotional service. What are some of the devotional service? When you say devotional service, what are they? Why do we call
offering?
Offering bhoga.
Anything that you do, do it
chanting
with
the holy
Krishna's
names. It is also a devotional service.
Correct.
Then doing some charity for the propagation of Krishna consciousness. That is also a devotional service.
Krishna to
Talking
people.
about Krishna is also devotional service. Cleaning the Krishna's temple is also devotional service. And everything is basically
Kirtana,
Shravanam,
correct.
Kirtanam, Vishnum, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. These are the 9 process of devotional
Processes.
service. Why it is called service? Because devotion is obtained by service, not just by saying that I feel Krishna in my heart. Krishna is my favorite God. And you're not doing anything to Krishna. Is that called devotion?
No.
Just feeling Krishna and not doing anything for Krishna, is it called the devotion? You have a lot of feeling for your family members. You love them so much, but you're not cooking anything for them. Then will your family members love you still? Your child comes and says, Mama, I'm very hungry. And you hug your daughter and says, Beta, I love you so much.
Does not help.
Will it help the child to develop any love also? No. So it is called a devotional service. So that is most important. If a person is not doing any devotional service, then he is considered himself to be a cow or an ass. He should not be attached to the inferior material attachment. These are all the inferior attachment to body, family, and so on. These attachments are not very good for a person in the spiritual path. Such a devotee of the Lord is not foolish cow or stubborn ass like the majority of the materialists. But most excellent is a Vaishnava who has gained the special mercy of the Lord and broken free from the bondage of the illusionary attachment altogether. So this is what we should understand. We should come out of all our illusions, right? What is real and what is false. We should not be lamenting for things that are not worth for. Like we see people, they are playing game. It is very clearly known that it is an illusionary game. It is not real. But how many incidents we have heard where people who are doing the game and they are asked to jump out of the window like that, some games, and children have actually committed suicide.
Yes.
So are we not see that we are getting into more and more illusionary world? In earlier days, playing means what? Going out, they play some cricket or anything, physical, lot of games were there. And today, what does gaming means for children?
Mobile or
the mobile or laptop or iPad. Even you just go in the train, you will see people playing some games.
yes.
Candy Crush, this one, that one. What do they go? They are totally living in a illusionary world. So one has to come out of the illusionary world. Even the attachments that we are having, considering our home, considering our family to be our own, that is also an illusion, because everybody has to leave the world one day or the other. In this life, according to your karma you got, yes, we should take care of them. We should do all our service to them, but it is attachment with detachment. We are not saying completely we have to do the service, but do with detachment. Don't do with possess. Don't possess thing. Don't think it is my son, so I have to do everything for my son, and don't degrade other child just because that particular child is not yours. I have seen some people, they are so much possessive on their child, and they come to the park and they keep scolding the other children. What you have done is not correct, because what do you think about my daughter will never do like this? You all must have done the mistake. So some parents go to that extent of scolding the other children to protect their own child. Those things should not be there. At least listen what the other children have to tell. Try to identify the problem. You just cannot blindly say that my child cannot do anything wrong. We go to such an extent, right? That
false ego is strongly present.
Yeah. As long as we have false ego, then what we will have? We will be in our subtle body. And this subtle body will take us to another body. So we will be in the repeated cycle of birth, death, and old age and disease. We will not be able to come out of it. Okay. So with this, we will stop this sloka. It is little deeper sloka. So we went little more deeper, although it is slow, but I thought that we should understand things in detail about what is matter, what is soul, and everything. Any questions or any realizations or anything from whatever has been done today?
But this happens, Mataji, through practice, because suddenly you can't.
No. It is, first thing is at least acquire the knowledge. Understand? Yes, sadhana is there. That's why we do the sadhana bhakti. No, why are we chanting? The Shastra says, even if you chant one time, you're getting rid of all your sinful activities. If the Shastra says one time, then why do we chant 16 rounds?
16.
Because we do not know how pure is our chanting, our offenseless. When we are chanting so many rounds, it can so happen that one mantra we said might have been without offense. And that mantra Krishna will pick up, because one day, once you chanted purely, and that thing Krishna will pick up. Ajamila, he just chanted his son's name Narayana. But only thing is, he was not offensive. Although he did not do with all the faith and everything, he chanted the name of the son. That offenseless chanting will take us one to the Krishna's abode. So we need to try to come out of the offenses of chanting, like trying to think Krishna's name and all the other God name to be on the same level is offensive. And not following the Guru's instruction is offensive. And doing Mahamantra thinking as a karma kanda that something good will happen to me, that is offensive. Maintaining material attachments and everything, even though you're chanting Mahamantra for a long time, that also become offense. So there are 10 offenses that one should try to come out of it, and giving an imaginary interpretation to Mahamantra. All those things are the offenses of the holy names. Therefore, we have to try to come out of the offenses of the holy name and try to chant the pure name of the Krishna. Yes, it is a process. As long as we are associating with the devotee, as long as we are associating with Srila Prabhupada's books, Srila Prabhupada's Vani, doing our chanting and doing our devotional service, then for sure, Krishna will help us to go back to him. Because in Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. What is the quality to go to him? Tesham satata yuktanam, one who is always worshipping. Satata means always. Bhajatam priti purvakam, one who worships him with priti. Priti means what? Love. Love and devotion. So our only qualification is worshipping with love and devotion. And what will Krishna do? Dadami buddhi yogam. Krishna will give intelligence to us. Dadami buddhi yogam yena mam upayantite, by which we can go back to Krishna. So this intelligence, if we are worshipping Krishna with love and devotion, who will give us the intelligence? Krishna himself will give us an intelligence by which one can go to him. So it so happened here in our society, one of the Mataji, she moved from Qatar, but she is very sincere. Somewhere she had an exposure for Krishna consciousness and she was deeply touched by that, and she had a desire to further it. And when she came to our society, she was happy to understand that we have regular classes happening on Saturday and the online classes. So the Mataji is now attending for 1 month all the classes regularly, and also the Wednesday classes. And I told her she has a lot of time, her children are settled, so she's living with her husband and she moved from Qatar. So I told her to read Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Mataji, just within a week, she finished reading 2 chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that sincerity which she had, Krishna reciprocated to her by entering Srimad Bhagavatam to her, by giving her the association of devotees, and by giving her all the intelligence to further in her devotional service. But what did she have? She had the sincerity that she wants to practice Krishna consciousness. She wants to go back home, back to God. And that sincerity is helping her to get things one by one. So we need to be sincere. If we are not sincere, then Krishna cannot force us, because Krishna is supremely independent and we are all minutely independent. And Krishna will never force us with devotion. Devotees of Krishna may force, but Krishna will never force. That's what Krishna says. Nachatasman manusheshu kashyanyati kritama. There's nobody more dear to me than the one who spreads my glories to others. So the devotees of Krishna, sometimes they are more merciful than Krishna himself. Okay. So we'll do the Narsimha Aarti. Any other questions? Everything is clear, right?
Ji Mataji. Yes.
Namaste
Namaste
Narasimhaya
Narasimhaya
Praladadadayini
Prahaladadayini
Hiranyakashipurvashaka
Hiranyakashipurvakshaha
Shilatankarkalaye
Shilatankarkalaye
Ito
Ito
Narasimha
Narsimha
Parato
Parato
Narasimha
Simha
Yato
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 yamito
yamitato
Narasimha
Narsimha
Bahi
Bahi
Narasimha
Narsimha
Hridaye
Hridaya
Narasimha
Narsimha
Narasimhamani
Narsimha
Sharanam
Sharanam
Prapati
Prapati
Tava
Tava Kara
Kalavarena
Kalavarena
Adbhuta
Adbhuta
Shringa
Shringa
Dalita
Hiranya
Hiranyakashipu
Karanakashipu
Tanubringa
Tanubringa
Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai
Jai
Jagadish
Jagadish Hari
Hari Jaya
Jai
Jagadish
Jagadish
Hari
Hari
Jaya
Jai
Jagadish
Jagadish
Hari
Hari
Jaya
Jaya Prabhu
Narsimhadev Jaya
Jaya Narsimha
Narsimhadev Jaya
Jaya Narsimha
Narsimhadev
Dev
Jaya
Jaya
Narsimhadev
Narsimha Dev
Jaya
Jaya
Prahlad
Prahlad
Maharaj
Maharaj
Jaya
Jaya
Prahlad
Prahlad
Maharaj Jaya
Maharaj Jaya Prahlad
Prahlad Maharaj
Maharaj
Jaya
Jaya
Prahlad
Prahlad
Maharaj
Maharaj
Jaya
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 Prabhupada
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 Jaya
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 Prabhupada
Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Gurudev
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 Gurudev Gurudev
Gurudev
Jaya
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 Jaya Gurudev
Gurudev
Bhakti
Shri Prabhu
Shaka Narsimha Bhagwan ki
की
Jai.
जय
Bhakti Shiromani Prahlad Maharaj
महाराज की
Srila
जय
Prabhupada ki
माता
Jai.
जय
Bhagavad Gita
भगवत
as it
गीता
is
एज इट
ki
इज की
Jai.
जय
Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Okay. Thank you so much for being there in the class. I hope today's class was quite useful and enlightening for all of us to understand who is a learned person. Otherwise, we are in illusion thinking anybody and everybody to be a learned person. So we should also take our own efforts to spread this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to as many people as possible within our ability to really make this world a learned place who has a real education. Okay.
Mataji, on that chart, if you can just post it, that
Yeah.
one chart.
Yeah, I will do that, Mataji. The soul and this one, I will post it. So you can just go through that to understand what is the difference between the soul and the body. Unless otherwise, we do not know. And many of us do not know what is a subtle body. That Sushma Shari, they say, stool is the gross body. Sushma Shari is the subtle body. Once you do not know what is your subtle body, as long as you are carrying the false ego and false intelligence and the mind which is not fixed on Krishna, that means we should be ready to get transmigrated to another body. So we should know whether should I transmigrate my body again or should I go back to Krishna. That is what we should strive. So if we are convinced that this life is for me to go back to Krishna, then we have to follow the process, the 4 regulative principles with chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra minimum of 16 rounds. Is it difficult?
Not at all, Mataji. Mataji, actually, last 2 weeks, na Mataji, I started offering prasad at least in the morning, Mataji,
Very
whatever I
nice.
cook.
Okay.
And see, without tasting, and that is very difficult for me to
Yeah.
start with. But Mataji, I should tell you,
Mhm.
I'm having the goosebumps now.
Mm.
Mataji, it is just like a blessing. The cooking goes very well, Mataji. There
Definitely.
is no error.
Correct.
And I really don't know how that is happening,
Yeah.
but that is a blessing. And now even I cannot, I'm not, so I feel nice, like
Yeah,
offering
definitely.
first thing, at least
Because
the
it's an
milk in the
exchange,
morning they'll
right?
have.
Even in your home, some guest comes. What do? You offer them something to
Yeah,
eat. If
yeah.
they don't eat, you feel bad. And Krishna,
But that is
you are
an
having and you
experience.
don't want to give anything to
Yeah.
Krishna, then how will the relationship develops?
But Mataji, that is an experience that I can't, again, we
Yeah,
have to experience it
correct.
ourselves.
Because you're cooking
I'm
for
feeling it
Krishna
good.
and you're offering to Krishna, and whatever, and Krishna has tasted his saliva is there.
But the
Just that
taste
you
is
cannot
absolutely no error, Mataji.
definitely.
No error.
And yeah, whatever
That's what.
you cook, there won't be anything. salt, sugar, everything will be balanced. Krishna will balance. I feel Krishna holds our hands and put the spices. When we cook for Krishna, automatically the taste comes because we are cooking for Krishna.
I'm feeling nice, Mataji.
Yes,
I'm really feeling.
Even Mataji, even for me, like when I have some guests who are accustomed to eat onion, garlic, and everything, at my home, it's been 7 years that we don't use onion, garlic at all in our home. So even though the guest came, I consulted with my husband, what should I do? Will they like food with that? Should I cook for them that? He said, no, you just prepare whatever you cook. You don't have to prepare differently. So I made the chole. As usual, we offer it. And the guests, they loved the chole so much. And they asked me the recipe, how did you cook? So imagine a chole cooking without onion, garlic for the normal people. Almost
Mataji, do you have a recipe for all this?
Yes, yes, Mataji. There is a channel called Krishna Cuisine in YouTube. Mohana Sundara Mataji, she has given entire playlist of sabzis, Ekadashi Prasadam rice. It's a beautiful, her recipes are too good. Just follow the channel. Maybe I'll post one of the video of her and you can subscribe to the channel. And she gives all the boga recipes.
Okay, what is the name of the
Krishna Cuisine. Krishna Cuisine, yeah. She's a devotee who is doing the channel, and so many options of sabzi, everything is there. And easiest to hack, for example, if people are used to strong taste, they use garlic because garlic kind of gives some sharp taste. Replace it with hing. In the tadka, you add hing. When you add hing, you get the sharp taste of the sabzi. So people who are accustomed to eat those food with little sharp taste, they will not feel that, they are missing it.
Okay, Mataji.
So these are some of the hacks, you can do so that people will not know that, unless otherwise it's also taboo. Only the food tastes good with onion garlic. That's also a taboo. In fact, when you're eating food without onion garlic, you taste the other vegetables also. Because once you put onion garlic, it dominates. It dominates the taste. Generally, you won't be able to taste the other vegetable at all because the taste of the onion garlic will be prominent. And even you see your breath, your smell, everything will be too high with the thing. Imagine you're eating a sattvic food. Your breath, everything is more balanced. You're leading a pure life. That will help you to keep up your mind in reading, in chanting, in listening. See, Jaise kaye an, vaise bana man. There is a saying, like you eat, your man is. There is a direct connection with the consciousness of the cook and the food that we eat. So that's why Prabhupada always says, just two things. With the tongue, accept prasadam. With the tongue, chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. That's all. Nothing else is needed. Just by following, using the tongue. For these two main purposes, one can advance in devotion. Just two things. Accept prasadam and chant Hare Krishna. That's all. Slowly, slowly. That's a good start, Mataji. You started with one time. Slowly, slowly. After some time, you make it 2 times. Like that, you can increase your offering. But at least start. At least one meal start offering.
I'm not there during the day, so then it becomes difficult. So that's why I do it. Whatever I cook in the morning, I offer it to Krishna. So even if it's the afternoon lunch or whatever, put together, I offer it to Krishna as prasad. So I'm feeling good. So
these are all happened, Mataji. Even in the previous Vedic culture, there was no much use of onion, garlic or anything. These are all because of the modern culture. You see, Brahminical families, if you see, most of the recipes do not have. We all learned now. We are all corrupted by the society. Otherwise, our original traditional recipe, Mataji, you go, none of the recipe will have onion, garlic. If you're preparing your traditional recipe, they don't have, because our ancestors were not eating. They were sattvic. They were not eating. They were God conscious. They were reading Ramayana, or they were reading Mahabharata, or they were reading Bhagavadgita, Bhagavatam. Evening means they spent in Swadhyaya. Today, because of all the media, phone, TV, serials, this, that. Exactly, totally, Kali Yuga is just degrading. You can see that with the current things that are happening. People are just not, they do not know what their consciousness is up to. They do not even know what is happening in their life, because they completely became the slave of the social media, slave of everything. They are not independent. Even their intelligence goes down. Too much of watching videos also brings down your intelligence. They think they are happy listening to something while going in the train or coming in the train. So 2 hours you are listening to some useless things. What will happen to your consciousness?
Yeah.
And many young girls, if you see that, they will be going to some site and they'll be ordering some clothes, this, that, and everything. So your entire life is around materialism now, with the phone in the hand. Instead of minimizing, we are doing more and more. In early days, materialism, people were not very affordable. If you see our parents, if I remember my childhood, once a year we will get an opportunity to go to restaurant. Once a year we will get an opportunity to go to the movie. And twice a year we will get new clothes, one for the birthday, another for Diwali.
Diwali.
That's all. So everything was minimal, and we had a gratitude and the longingness for whatever we got. We enjoyed those festivals very nicely. When Diwali comes, it was so much enjoyable for us. But today, every day you want to
It's
be
like
like
any other
Diwali,
day.
any other day, because every day you are happy, right? Because you can get dress if you want now. You can get, just go to mall, get it. You don't need any special occasion to get anything. And children also became very demanding now. Whatever they want, they wanted instantly now. Yeah, I know my children, my daughter, if I don't have something, she will say, Mama, order through Zepto or Blinkit, she says. When I say I don't have paneer, I can't go, no, you can order through Zepto. I want today, please order and cook it, she will say. That's how it is today. The world is like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a fast world. Yeah,
That's
we get
what
everything.
they wanted,
We
whatever
get
they think they
everything.
wanted. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You do not know how do we stop that, because they know their friends talk. And she says one of her friend, Zepto Cafe is there. So every day morning, her mother orders something in Zepto Cafe, and whatever she gets through, that is her short break tiffin. And she also says, Mama, I mean, that is not having onion, garlic, or eggs or anything. Maybe once you can also try the Zepto Cafe and put
It's
something in
influence of,
my bag.
it's a
And they
pure,
ask,
yeah,
they
a
ask, maybe
pure thing. We
once,
have to
why
manage
don't
that.
you order in the Zepto Cafe? They have a lot of croissants, many things, nice things. And please order for me and put it in my tiffin. So this is how it is. I'm just telling, the world is going in a different thing.
We just
Yeah,
pray
by
Mataji.
the mercy of Srila Prabhupada's books and by mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are very grateful that we are not in this thing of this material world and trying to
Correct.
get the enjoyment.
We are not influenced by
Yeah,
this material world.
influence. I'm very, very grateful to Srila Prabhupada and his books, which makes us understand the real purpose of the life. That's what I think. Even those days when I was not in devotion, weekends were always going out somewhere or the other. But I am more happy now compared to those days, being in Krishna consciousness, even waking up at 4 o'clock, 3:30 on Sunday also, because we are serving Krishna. This is a real
we are experiencing
happiness.
the sar.
Exactly. Not those things roaming around and enjoying the material world. So this comes gradually, it comes. The more we are in, the more we get in. But that is the advancement in Krishna consciousness, means your material desires should come down. Nobody has to say whether you're advanced in Krishna consciousness. As long as your material desires are coming down, you know that you're advancing. If your material desires are not coming down, that means you're not advancing in Krishna consciousness.
But we do ourselves.
Yeah, it is our own self-test. Nobody has to tell you how much advanced you are. You can know by yourself. Pratyakshava gamam dharmam. That's what in the 9th chapter Krishna says. Pratyakshava, it is perceived itself. If fever is gone, you know yourself. You're able to eat properly and everything. You don't go to the doctor again to check if your fever is gone. It's self-realized. Similarly, bhakti is like that. Pratyakshava gamam dharmam. You can realize it for yourself. Nobody has to tell you about your bhakti. You know for yourself what you are. And so sukham kartum avyayam. And it is done with joy. Okay. So please chant and be happy and read Srila Prabhupada's book and try to honor Krishna Prasadam. Okay. That's my humble
Hare
request
Krishna.
to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, I'm asking about, I want to ask about Nirjala Ekadashi.
Yeah,
Upcoming Ekadashi.
correct. Yeah, 7th is Nirjala Ekadashi. So this is Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi. As we know that Bhim is a voracious eater. Half the food that is given to Pandavas is eaten by Bhim. So Bhim could not follow any of the Ekadashis because he could not remain hunger. But Yudhishthir, or they all had a thing. Without following Ekadashi, one cannot go to Vaikuntha. So as a concession for Bhim, he is given one Ekadashi in a year, Nirjala Ekadashi, by following which you get the benefit of following the entire 24 Ekadashis.
Yes, Mataji, means I want to know about the do's and don'ts, means how we have to follow that strictly. Like,
So what you can do is, you know that Shingada fruit?
yes, Mataji.
So that fruit is very good to hydrate. So what you can do is somewhere after waking up before the sunrise, maybe around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you can take some Shingada fruit. That is a fruit which is giving a lot of hydration. So then
Yes, Mataji, I was
you,
asking about, means we don't have to use water for, means.
water, actually, if you're following Nirjala, next day only you are supposed to break the Nirjala fast.
Yes, Mataji, means like taking bath, all is okay,
Yeah,
right?
those things are acceptable. You have to brush your teeth. Nitya karmas are all allowed.
Yes.
Yes.
That was, I want to
Brushing
say.
teeth also is a must because you can't be without brushing the teeth. All the
Yes.
Nitya karma is allowed. Like bathing, brushing, and all those things are allowed.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mataji.
And if you're following the Nirjala, in the Parana time, we break the fast with water.
Water. Yes.
Yeah.
Mataji.
And another thing is, if you're not able to follow the Nirjala, you can take some water. If you're not able to take water, take some fruits. If that is also not possible, at least try to do the non-grains. I'm telling for everybody. I know, Mataji, you're all set to follow the Nirjala Ekadashi. My prayers for you and for all of us. May Krishna give us strength to follow that. But if we are not having able to follow because of some health conditions, still at least we should try to follow this Ekadashi. It's very important. Ekadashi is the mother of devotion. Doing Ekadashi will help us to advance in Krishna consciousness.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji, Ashok Chandra Prabhu, you had any question?
No, Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhuji. So coming 7th of June is the Nirjala Ekadashi. So let us all try to follow the Ekadashi. Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhagavad Gita Assages ki jai. Hare Krishna.